Hey everybody, welcome to um Sassy Sunday night live stitch. Ugh, I'm always I should look in this into the screen before I go live. My hair is very fluffy tonight. I just finished drying it. Because I did take a bath for you. I know it's fabulous. Hey everybody. Hey Susan. Hey Cheryl. Hey Lori. Hey Barbara. Oh, I saw something about the quilt. Oh, I know what you're asking me about. So I posted a picture from a few years ago. Well, actually, it was 2017 when we got our custom barn quilt square, and so I had them painted, and it's actually on the Madison County quilt walk, and because Buncombe County didn't have one, and we're in Buncombe County. And so it was a brand new design. And if you look at it, it's kind of neat. Like some people don't recognize what it is, but it's the squirrel with the needle. And then all the way around it are bobbins, thread bobbins, and pumpkins. And so that's what that is. But they made me follow, hey Sheila, hey Susan, hey Beverly, hey Catherine. They made me follow traditional quilt square rules for it to be included on the quilt trail. Hey Melanie. And so that meant that there could be like no circles. Like you had to, like for the thread that comes down, they had to think through how to do that. I told them what I wanted. They designed it. It's called Running with Scissors. And they painted it for me. And so we've just been holding on to it. We brought it out at our grand opening for our shop back in 2017, and everybody got to see it. And then we kind of tucked it away. Hey, Deb. Hey Janice, hey Kathy, hey Lois, and so it's been sitting in there. Hey Barbara, and I uncovered it about hey Barbara Turner. I already got my other Barbara. I uncovered it about 2 months ago. I've got a friend who his name is ah can't believe I'm drawing a blank right now. Uh, it'll come to me. It'll come to me. But I have a friend, and he's a quilt designer. Hey Rose, and he actually also creates tools and stuff for the quilting industry. And of course, I met him when we were beside Five Little Monkeys, and he would come over and hang out with us. He's a pharmacist by trade, or something in pharmaceuticals. And he has a house down in Georgia and up here too. And so he splits his time. But he came by to see me when I was over working at the Baird House a few months ago. And I uncovered the quilt and showed it to him. Hey, Robbie. Hey, Nancy. Happy Sunday. Oh, happy birthday, Nancy. Yay. Happy birthday. Um, I showed it to him because I wanted him to design the quilt square for us so we could offer it to you guys who quilt because I thought it would be fun. I don't quilt, so I don't know how to do that. So he's working on that for us. So hopefully we'll have that done. So how is it made? It's wood. It is wood. Hey Cheryl. Hey Sharon. Um, hey Mary. So it is wood and it is painted, and it's not been hung yet. But now that the gutters are hung, we've got to do a little bit more. Hey Sue, a little bit more work on that side of the house to fix some rotted wood. Hey Rhonda, and it gets hung over there. So it gets hung on the putt-putt side. And the reason that I did it that way, I wanted another sign on my building on the putt-putt side. And because I'm an accountant and I'm a rule follower, that's what accountants get paid to do, is follow the rules and keep people out of jail. I thoroughly read all of the sign ordinance. And one of the things for the town that I'm in, which is Woodfin, it's a little suburb of Asheville. It actually uses the Asheville post office, so technically it's North Asheville. Um, but the sign ordinance and stuff, it's really crazy. Little small towns. The sign ordinance is the town of Woodfin, and the fire marshal is the town of Weaverville. Fire marshal, and the inspectors for the construction is Buncombe County. So fortunately, it's not in the city of Asheville limits, because that is a whole nother world. Asheville has a historic district, and this is a historic house on the national listing of historic places. So you can look it up out there and read all about it. But it's not covered by the easements and stuff, fortunately, or I don't think we could have afforded to do it. Anyway, so the quilt square will be hung very soon. over there on the putt-putt side, and I wanted a second sign, is where I was going with that. And the sign ordinance does not allow that in the town of Woodfin. You can only have your name one place, whether it's on the front of your building or on a sign out front or whatever. It can only be one place. Now, having said that, of course, there's a business just across the street from me that has 3 signs up, and they're relatively new. They've had it up there for a while. Hey, Kathy. Oh, you know what? I was just listening to Fiber Talk too. The guy that they've got on there this week is hilarious. So if you haven't listened to the Sunday show, he's really funny. It kind of starts out kind of slow, and I wasn't really sure. And then the more I listened to him, the more he cracked me up. And I didn't get all the way through it. I got through like 15 minutes of it, but he was really funny. So I could see Kathy why you didn't jump right over. He's pretty funny. I like I say, I only got like 15 minutes, but Gary and Beth had both said that he was really funny, and he was. So anyway, that's why I had them do the quilt square, because it's basically my logo. And I thought, well, if I can put my logo on a sign, then it's like having a sign. You know, my people are going to know it's me. So anyway, what I really want to do is put a billboard up because I back up to the interstate. There's a crop of trees there, but I've got enough frontage property on that interstate that I could easily put up a billboard. And my husband just retired from the North Carolina Department of Transportation. And so he was like, whatever you do with that, just don't tell me in advance. And I'm like, okay. Hey, Jillian from England. Wow. Let's see. You've got to be 5 hours or 6 hours, probably 5 ahead of us. So it's 1 a.m. Thank you for watching. I appreciate that. Or 2 a.m., which is worse. So I appreciate you watching. So yeah, I think I'm going to get a billboard up there one way or the other. So, hey, Judy. You know, whatever it told me is that, you know, if we don't damage anything, that will probably be okay. And some of the property between me and the interstate is mine, and some of it is the DOT right of way. So I could probably do it and stay off the DOT right away, which would be great. But I'm not really sure what the requirements are for that. You know, like, I don't really know what hoop I'd have to jump through. And I'm kind of afraid to ask anybody because although I am a rule follower, I learned in my career that sometimes it's better to ask forgiveness than permission. Actually, I learned that as a young child. So, and I practiced it as a teenager. So, you know, yeah, billboards on my agenda. Sometime, some way, somehow, I'm probably going to get a billboard up there. Not a tacky one, hopefully, but, you know, not that billboards are ever not tacky. But, well, you know, at least you would know to take the next turn, right? That's the goal. You're driving down the interstate, and you're like, oh, there it is. And you take the next turn and you're right there. That's the way to do it. What about a flag out front? Yes. So I do have a flag on the porch for sure. And we had it up we've had like several flags on the porch. But yeah, we could probably, I could put like well, that might be too arrogant. I could make a flag, a Sassy Jack's flag. That might be too much. I don't know. People may not love me for that. There's a line you cross at some point when you talk about yourself. there's self-promotion, and then there's, oh my gosh. That kind of thing. The shop is not open in person yet, Sue. So hopefully, you know, this fall, we're working on it. September. Cannot believe today is like the 4th or whatever day it is. It's crazy how fast this stuff goes. And of course it's raining. Yesterday was a beautiful day. And we could have done a lot of work over there, but I have been working hard. So this last week and this weekend reminded me of my corporate job to a degree, and reminded me of my age, because I remember 5 years ago, right before I left St. Croix, I was working at 2:30 a.m. one night. Hey, Teal, yay, I'm glad to hear it. Some side effects from the anesthesia. Well, hopefully, Teal just got done with surgery last Monday. Hopefully, Teal, you'll get through that. I know I had it a little bit too, and the pain medicine did it for me as much as the anesthesia. So, well, I'm glad it went well, and hopefully rehab will go well, and you'll be back to the stitching world soon. Hey, Phyllis. Um, oh, I'm sorry about your mom. I'm sorry. Yeah, that has been a hard week. Um, there's just no easy way to say goodbye to your parents. I can tell you that. I lost my mom when I was 22, and I lost my dad in 2011, and I still miss them. I miss my dad especially because I guess I got to know him as an adult, and he was a really funny, neat person. My mom died when I was so young that I never saw her as another person. You know what I mean? Like she was still my mom, which is what you want her to be. But I never had that grown woman time with her, and like my sisters did, my brother, and but I'm really sorry, Phyllis. That's hard. But I'm glad you have your stitching family. We'll try to make you laugh a little bit tonight. Kathy, the Cosmo subscription. Yeah, so I've got one pack that I haven't sent out. And I was kind of holding off to see. I would keep hoping that we're going to get open every month to see how many people wanted to keep doing it. Probably not this week, but maybe next week. Maybe I will send out a note and just make sure everybody's still on board. So you're weaning yourself off the pain med till. Go slow with that. You just don't want that pain to get out in front of you. I'm sure they told you that. So just take your time with it. It'll be okay. But yeah, I don't like to take pain medicine either. It has so many side effects. Like I really feel for people who have to take pain medicine every day. It has a lot of side effects that I don't care for. And so I try to get off of it myself pretty quick when I've had to do it. But yeah, slow and steady, Teal. Slow and steady. Um, so we were talking about flags in front of the Baird house and the quilt square. So I think I almost had the guy's name in my mouth coming out there, and I lost it again. It'll come to me. Um, Marshall. His name is Marshall. And I love Marshall. He's really fun. But he took some pictures of it, and he's going to put that together for us. So maybe by the time we get open, you guys will, if you like to quilt, you'll have that, and you'll be able to stitch. Hey, Sandra. So I've been kidding for the soiree. There's close to 200 people, many of you who are signed up for it. And Susan has 2 kits that were optional, and they each needed a little something, but they were pretty much done. But I had to make copies of some stuff and add thread to another one. And Allie's, I had to kit entirely. So, hey, Ann from Oklahoma. I had to kit Allie's up entirely, so her stuff's ready. And then mine. And I've got 2, right? So I've got the specialty stitches, and then I've got your custom design for the soiree and the other little tchotchkes that go in there with it. So Angie helped me with some of that. She's really good at color and stuff, so she helped put something together that's fun. And then I had a little help from my niece Megan, and I've worked until between midnight and 2 a.m. every night working on getting it all done. I've still got to finish cutting the fabric. I cut 70 pieces today, and I've got to finish that up. It went pretty quick. It took me less than an hour because it ain't my first rodeo. So I'm pretty good at it. My dilemma is whether or not to serge it, and I really would like for it to go out serged. So I'm hoping that you guys energized me, by the way. I was upstairs, and I was about to go to sleep, and we didn't even eat dinner because neither of us had the motivation to get up and fix dinner. And man, I was so sleepy. I had my little pillow pulled up next to me sitting on the couch. I was like, Everett, please make sure I don't miss 8 o'clock. He goes, it's 7:23. And I was like, thank you. That doesn't help me right this minute. Needles are included in the kits, Rose. They are. And that's the other thing I had to do because only one of the optional kits had a needle. So I had to put needles in with everything, which is a lot of needles if you think about that, 4 kits plus the kit that I did, all those needles. Wow, it's a good thing I had lots of needles. And so, anyway, I got ready and came down here and I feel completely wide awake now. So that's great. So I'm excited. So yes, I've been kitting for the soiree, and I don't know how many of you signed up, but probably I'm gonna guess probably 30 or 40% of you are signed up for it. So it should be fun. I'm trying to get them all mailed out on Tuesday because I am leaving to go to Salty Yarns up in Maryland to go to a class. And yes, Sheila. Yes, so that's what we were just talking about was Cosmo. So, um, somebody else just asked me about that. Yeah, I'm happy to get Cosmo back out. I'm sitting on the one that's completely ready. That's been ready for a couple of months, and I just hadn't mailed it out. So when I get back, if I can do it before the soiree, I will, and if not, it'll be right after the soiree. So in September, we'll get that going again since you guys are enjoying it. Um, and Cosmo's getting easier to get. How about that? And people are designing with it, which is great. So, okay. So, yes, so I'm going to Salty Yarns next week for a class with Jackie Duplessis or Duplessis. I always say that wrong. And, I think I said it right the second time. Um, so I will be up there toward the end of next week, and then I will be coming home on Sunday next weekend. So I will be home in time to do this next Sunday night. So I'm excited about that. Um, it gives me a good goal, and I will have lots of things to share and talk about. So I'll be excited. So what's Cosmo? Cosmo is another kind of embroidery floss. It's a Japanese embroidery floss, and it's like DMC, but it's a nicer. I love DMC. We all have DMC. I've had DMC since I started stitching, and it is a great go-to. Cosmo feels better in the hand. It just does. It's a little bit fluffier. So I'll tell you a secret, and I reinforced it today because I actually ran out of a color that I needed for the soiree kits, and I ordered everything I could from one of my distributors, and then they were out of one of the colors. And so I had to order it where I knew I would get it in time. So I ordered it from DMC, which meant that I paid retail for it, but that's okay because I didn't need a lot. So the thread that you buy from a big box shop, DMC, the DMC thread embroidery floss, 6-strand floss, that you would buy at a big box shop, and I won't name any, but we all go to them, is one level of quality of DMC, and it's not that great. It feels thinner, and when you stitch with it, it feels thinner. And the quality that you get from your shop is another level up. It's actually a good quality. I would say it's a good medium quality. The quality of that floss that you get directly from DMC is the best. And I don't really get that, you know. So, is there a full conversion chart from DMC to Cosmo? We've been working on one, Peg, and we've got a draft of it. But I really don't want to publish it till I go back through and just double check it because some of the numbers are a little off. And so I've gone through a lot of it and checked it. I will say I can get that out. I'll get that published before we send out the next Cosmo shipment. So sometime in the month of September. I'm going to make a note of that, so don't forget to do that. Sorry, you get to watch me write. So to answer your question, there's not a full one out there. There's a few places that have done partials, but there's not a full one out there. And there's certainly not one that Cosmo has done. But we've been working with ours now for like 3 years. And so we've got it pretty well fleshed out. I just want to confirm it. So we will get that done and probably send a link, out to you guys, and I'll put it on the website. Especially for those of you who are in the Cosmo group, because I substitute Cosmo a lot for DMC. Like if you ordered something from me and I'm out of the DMC, I'll pop over to a Cosmo, and a lot of times they're spot on match. So back to my point about DMC, the thread that you get physically from DMC is it's fluffier. It's a little bit nicer. Yay, I'm glad you're here, Bobby. And yeah, Cosmo does feel good, but the Cosmo feels like the DMC that you get straight from DMC. So that's kind of the difference of it. And I don't know why DMC has those different grades of floss. I guess because it's, what gets cheaper and cheaper. So when you get it from a big box shop, and they put it on sale, they're getting it on sale. They get it a lot cheaper than I can get it. And when I get it from my distributor is about the right wholesale amount that if I look at DMC at retail, it's about the right markup. So I think that they consider that the same quality. It must just be, I don't know what it is, but I do know that what I get from DMC when I've had to order it there is a little bit nicer quality in the hand than what I get from my distributors. So, not to say that what I get from my distributors and sell in the shop is not good. I think it's a good medium quality. I think Cosmo's better. Cosmo's a little more expensive. Not a ton, but a little. And the variegated Cosmo is definitely a little more expensive. So we had two clubs. We had a solid club and a variegated club. And there's 3 different lines of variegation. So there's one where the repeat is really quick, which makes it look a little bold. And there's one where the repeat's really gentle, and so it makes it look pretty gentle. And then there's one in between. And we just mix them up in the variegated club. So anyway, we'll get that back up and running because I've been sitting on it for a while. Just been a little starved for help. But my buddy Angie's back. So Angie came back this week, back from Africa, had a really good experience, and would be willing to go back. So that's really positive. So that's great. And I think I mentioned to you that and the orphanage was fantastic. She said it was just really incredible. And I think there are 200 kids in that orphanage, and it's in Malawi. I don't like Sullivan's, and I don't sell Sullivan's. I'm really firm on that. I tried Sullivan's. It came in a kit one time, and it was horrible. And I know people use it now, and whatever, each to their own, but you will not find Sullivan's sold or used in any way, shape, or form here at Sassy Jack's, unless some teacher brings it in that I don't know about. But I don't know any teacher that would teach for us that has Sullivan's. So we just don't like it. Because of quality. So, I was talking about Angie. So, Sassy Jacks did donate money to buy a laptop for them. So, just so you know, you guys helped with that because it came from you. So, we did help buy one of 3 laptops that they needed at the orphanage. So, yay. And we did sponsor Angie's trip, and I think they got a lot out of that. They took over gallon-sized Ziplocs. They took one for each kid, so they had like 10 pieces of huge luggage. One for each kid that was full of all kinds of age-appropriate games, toys, cloth, whatever, And so I think it was a really great trip. It's not something I can do. I'll admit, my heart's a little too soft for that. I do like Anchor. I will stitch with Anchor. Anchor has really beautiful colors. I'm not teaching at Salty Yarns. I'm taking a class. So I'm going to be taught. I'm going to be a student. Blah, blah, blah. My ADD got me lost. And I'm not ADD. That's my problem. I try to be because Everett says it's a survival skill. And I have to be a little bit to keep up with him because he is very ADD. But I lost my train of thought there. Anyway, I was talking about the orphanage and stuff, but it was a good trip. She said she would go back. That's a good thing. And she made it back here, and she was glad to be home. So we were glad to have her back. Anchor Black, I have heard that the Anchor Black is better coverage than DMC. I don't know. Now, I do have what is called the Cone of Doom. So, if you keep up with the Witchy Stitcher, they do some stitch-alongs, and they did one for cryptids that started last year, and I did that one. I'm almost done with it. And a lot of people who do a lot of their stitch-alongs order a cone of thread. And so I have a cone of black thread, which I will never use, but it did come from DMC. So, we'll probably skein it off and put our own little tag on it like we did for the Belle Soie silk. Let you know that we've wound it, but that it's a DMC. and let you buy it a little bit cheaper than you would buy a regular skein of DMC. Otherwise, I'll have it. It'll be here for generations because it's a lot of black floss. But it is a little bit nicer quality black floss than what you get in a normal skein because it came from DMC. Okay. Well, I couldn't get a small cone in Heritage Stitches. I tried, and they just had the big one, so I had to buy the big one. When am I getting to Salty Yarns? We're actually driving up there on Wednesday morning, so I'll be there on Wednesday. And I'm getting there Wednesday, probably in the late afternoon, early evening. And I have class on Thursday and Friday, and I'll be there with a free day on Saturday. And then we're going to head back on Sunday because I have CPE, which is classes I have to take to keep my CPA license, on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of that next week. And then we have the soiree. And my sister, bless her heart, had a conflict. So she took over the organization of our family reunion this year. And because she took it over, I said, okay, well, I've got a class that weekend. I'm going to keep my class the weekend that it is, since you're going to do the reunion. Okay, okay. And this week she sent me a note and she said, I've got to go to a christening. Can you do the reunion? And I am, oh, my phone, my house phone's ringing. I'm sorry. We'll ignore it. It's probably spam. Hopefully my husband will answer it. If it's spam, he won't. He answered it. Must have been, it was either his mom or his sister or his best friend Dewey. So, I forgot what I was saying again. My sister, yes. So she has to, it's her grandbaby's christening. And so she has to go. So I said I would do it. So that means I have to schedule the live things that I have to do for the soiree around it, which is fine. So if you're in the soiree, probably you won't see me from like 11 to 2, which is fine. Which is fine. I'll have other things for you to do. The stitch rooms will be open on Sunday. It's just on Sunday. Stitch rooms will be open. But I will be sending out itinerary and everything like that the week before the soiree, so you'll know what's going on there. But it starts on Friday and it goes Saturday and Sunday. So that's your big thing. Are there openings in the Cosmo Club? Yeah, Linda, I can put you in there because what I did, I could only get so much Cosmo at one time, and because when I started it, because it was a lot harder to get, and now a couple other places have picked it up, distributors, and are selling it, so it's a little bit easier to get. Everybody's not grabbing for it, and I already have extra kits made for the first 5 shipments. I called them. What did I call it? Not, maybe it was I don't think it was a series. Maybe it was a series. I don't remember now. But anyway, for each mailing, I actually had extra kits. And so I can start you. So I'm going to put your name down. Send me an email to sassyjackstitcher@gmail.com, and I will get you set up for that. We'll figure it out. I might not be able to get you taken care of this week because of the soiree thing. So I'm excited about Salty Yarns. I've been there once, but it was a quick in and out. Everett's not able to go, and it's a 9-hour drive for me. So I invited my friend Catherine, who works at the shop, to come, and she's bringing her granddaughter, Ayla V. And Ayla V started stitching with us when she was 3 years old. So there's a fabulous picture on Facebook of her in our stitch group when she was just a wee lassie. And she's now going into the 3rd grade. She's 8. So she started school this week, but she's going to take a few days off and go up there with us. I'm taking some workshops with Jackie Duplessis, Judy. So yeah, and I was trying so hard to get my last project finished, before I went so I could show it to Jackie. And with everything I've had to do with the soiree and stuff, I just couldn't. Hey, Kathy, I had to, stop working on it. And so the other thing I haven't been able to work on, and I bet some of you are doing it, is the hands-on design costume party. I was so excited about it. And I have all my stuff, but I've not put the first stitch in. So I just can't. I hope I have good weather too. I do. But it's okay because I'll be inside if I don't. I hope they have good weather because Catherine and ALV are going up just to enjoy the. I had a room with a double bed, so I thought, well, I might as well invite a friend because Everett couldn't go. Well, now he says he can go, but it's too late. So his spot has been taken. So so there's that. So it's busy, and then my friend Lorraine Moots, who I've mentioned before, who lives in Germany, but she's American. She's a collector of samplers, and she was published in Sampler and Antique Needlework Quarterly back when it was going. She's coming up to visit her son in New York in September, and so I'm going to try to pop up and meet her for a hot minute and just say hello. So yeah, September's busy, so I don't know how much we'll get done at the Baird House in September. Hopefully, fingers crossed, Everett will get the concrete poured, and and then we can start moving forward really fast after that. So, hoping for that. Yeah, I wish I'd been able to stitch on the costume parties. See, you're doing it, but it's super cute, and I can't wait. I will, Cheryl. I'll say hey. And it's good to see you on too, Cheryl. She's a treat. She's a neat person. A lot of my friends here go up to Salty Yarns too, Kathy. Um, they go up for the, I guess, I don't know if they call it a jamboree or something like that. It's about the same time. It's after the season. So I feel like it's about the same time as our soiree. Because one year I think it conflicted. Um, so anyway, I think they go up for that. My Raleigh friends go up for that. But yeah, Cheryl, I'll tell Lorraine you said hello. Um, I got to figure out when she's going to be there. I know it's the end of the month, sometime in September. So, fun stuff. And then the beginning of October, I'm supposed to go to Winterthur. So, I don't know if any of you guys are signed up for Winterthur. But Winterthur is a needlework conference that happens about every 2 years up at the Winterthur Museum, which is a wonderful museum. Take a few photos with Lorraine, yeah, or at Salty Yarns, Beth. I can do that. I can take photos anywhere I go. I take lots of pictures. Yes, I can take pictures at Salty Yarns for sure, if you would like that. And I can take maybe a picture too with Lorraine. And Winterthur should be a lot of fun. So I'm going up there, I'm meeting a friend, and going up there for that conference. So Phyllis, you can if you want into the soiree, I can still put you in there. I can send you a an invoice for it because I've made a few extra kits. So I'll put your name down and I'll send you a note, and then if you want in, I can put you in. So some people signed up a few times, and so if you wanted to be sure because you signed up so early and you signed up again, I'm going to be refunding your money. So yay, Cheryl, that's great. You're going virtually. Yeah, I would do that too. That was my backup plan. So I'm going up with Arlene, if you were wondering. So Lepowski, and she came up for Susan's class last weekend, and that was fun to have her here. And Penny came down, and we missed you, Cheryl. So hopefully that day will come around again soon. Okay, so let's talk about a few little things here. And you guys, I'll try to keep an eye on the thing. But if I miss questions, I'll try to get back to it. Okay, so winners for last week. I haven't drawn them yet. Because I told you what I was doing. And it got away from me. So I will also hate it, Arlene, for you too. I will make the drawings probably tomorrow morning, and I will send a note. I'll comment under your comment if you won, and I'll get them mailed out. I've got to mail out the others too. So lots of mail going out Tuesday. So I don't know who won. So if you still need to make a comment, go make a comment for last week, and then we'll get you drawn, and we'll see if you won any of that stuff. Okay, so we talked about AC Bluebird last week. Chart. I showed you the sampler. We talked about getting it converted. I just wanted to hit again what to expect from that. So this chart is already available, and it comes up as AC Bluebird. I talked to Allie this week. I'll have to update you on that too. Let me make a note so I'll come back to that. I talked to Allie Dudley this week, who does some of my charting and stuff. We're going to do a booklet that has each motif, full motif in it, and it's spiral bound, so you can flip it and look at it. And we will do a stitch along for that on linen strips that you can use for banding. And I might have a little bit of banding too, but the banding is a 28 count, so it'll get good size. I don't know if I have anything wide enough. I'll try to check that. I hate to add anything to my plate. I really have to get out all the Soiree stuff, so it'll be when I get back. But I will check to see if any of the banding I have would fit AC Bluebird. But if not, I'm going to put out their strips of linen. I've got some out there for the learning stitches where I just cut the linen long ways, a long strip that you can then, do a hem stitch or an unstitch or whatever on the side. I'm going to put some of those out there that you can order for AC Bluebird if you want to do that. Now, do you have to buy the other book? No, because all of these motifs that are on here that you only have half, you can just flip them, pivot them, and you can stitch it. You don't need the new booklet, but if you want it, we'll have it out there for you, and it'll have the new conversion in it, and I will also post the new conversion. So that's what I wanted to say about that. Now, I'm going to show you something now that probably a lot of you have seen. Is the photo of AC Bluebird on the cover stitched using the called for threads. The photo is the antique. This is the antique. So that's the antique. There are lots of pictures of it out there. We'll probably replace this photo when we reissue it with a stitched one. But there are some pictures on the Facebook page that are stitched with called for threads that are gorgeous. And they're stitched, most of them have been stitched with Gentle Arts or a substitution, because Gentle Arts has been hard to get all the colors. And so we've made substitutions using Classic Colorworks. The model that I'm going to stitch for it, I'm going to stitch the band sampler thing, but I'm also going to stitch the model for it. We'll use the new color conversion to Classic Colorworks. That's what I've been substituting all the missing Gentle Arts with, and since I own the antique, I know what it matches to. So they'll be perfect matches. So you can do it with the Gentle Arts that are called for. Honestly, it looks better if you do it with variegated thread than it does with a solid. The solid, you lose some of the beauty of this one. So that's the other reason I went with Classic Colorworks, because I can convert it over to Belle Soie Silks, which is variegated. So if you're going to have a conversion, you have a conversion now to Needlepoint Ink, Soie d'Alger, and Gentle Arts. And there's 1 week Styleworks in there because it matched better. I am going to convert it to Soie Gobelin because I want to use it for my box thing I was talking about. And I'll make that public. And I'm also going to convert it to Classic Colorworks Cotton and Silks. And when I reissue this booklet, because we're down to like the last 20, when I reissue it, the new conversions on the back will be to Classic Colorworks. I will leave these others on the website. And we're also working on a website just for Sassafras samplers. It won't sell anything, but it will have out there all the conversions and any corrections and anything like that you would see for, anybody else's design company. I've been working on it for a while. I just need to turn it live. Okay. This next thing that I'm going to show you, if you're in the Soiree, do not run out and buy this chart. Because it's part of your Soiree swag. It's a chart that we yes, I will publish the Cosmo. Oh, you want me to convert it to Cosmo? That's an easy one. I can do that. I'll put that online. Let me make a note for that. And we do a lot of our custom designs. We actually do them in Cosmo. So, because I like Cosmo. It's fun. Okay, it's not really a sneak peek, so it's a chart that's been out there for a while. I'm not going to show you the custom one that we did. You're going to have to get that in your swag. But I wanted to talk about this tonight because I want you to think about it. So this is Esther Benson. And Esther Benson was an exclusive that Hands On Design did for us. And she's a really beautiful transitional sampler. I didn't bring her down, but I should have. But I've got her sitting out in my bedroom. I've been looking at her for a while. She is 1739 London. She's pretty old and she's really pretty. She's got some specialty stitches in her. And so I want to do a few things with her. A lot of you have stitched her. Some of you have not. But we're going to reimagine Esther Benson. So the reason I'm giving her a copy to everybody is because I want you to have her and stitch her if you want to. But we're also doing tutorials for this. So there is a tutorial out there that has a few of the specialty stitches, but I'm going to do a full tutorial for her. And so when you get this in your your swag for the soiree, you will have access to a full tutorial for how to do the specialty stitches for her. Because there's a couple in here that are different and new, right? Different and new to a lot of people. And she's a really beautiful antique. So some people love different things about her. Some people don't like this. This is called, it shows up on Elizabeth Weston, and I forget what it was called. But it's a garden folly, but I forget what this little temple was called. Yes, I'll make it available to everybody, Barbara, for sure. So everybody will have access to the conversions. I want you to buy the thread from me. So I just, so I'm not going to keep that secret. Yeah, for sure. Okay, so for this one, yeah, everybody's going to get this chart. And it comes with its bookmark. It's a beautiful chart. I think you'll love it. And you're going to get the card that goes with it that had the little project that we did in class. Because Nicola taught this here as a class. And I don't know if you knew this, but we were the first shop that Nicola ever taught at in the U.S. So she came here in January of 2018. It wasn't this class. It was one called Fearless Freehand. But then she came back and she did this one for us next. So it's such a beautiful sampler. And I don't know if you know this, but Esther, the name Esther actually means star. And so there's all these beautiful stars on here. So that's one thing. You're going to have access to a tutorial for Esther Benson. And it'll be a free tutorial. Okay. And so you'll get this chart. If you decide you want to stitch her, you'll have access to a free tutorial that I'll do. There is one out there that Nicola did for us, and I think it's got a low price on it, something like $15 or something like that. But it's been around for a long time, so I'm going to do an updated one. So you can do whichever one you want. The other thing I'm going to do with Esther Benson for next year is reimagine her. She's such a beautiful sampler, and some people love different things about her. Like some people, they don't like the bottom. Some people don't like the Adam and Eve. Some people don't like the words. She's a the Lord's Prayer, which I always wanted to own a sampler that had the Lord's Prayer, and I do own Esther Benson. It's my antique. So we're gonna actually shake it up a little bit and mix it up a little bit and offer you a new view of Esther Benson where we move some of the things around. So you'll have the option of this way or, early next year, maybe sooner, but probably not. You'll have the option to do her a whole nother way. And so that'll be our 2023, I can't believe it, sampler stitch along for Sassy Jacks will be Esther Benson. You can do the original chart, which we still have plenty of those. We're the only shop that has this, by the way. You can't buy this from Nicola. You can't buy it anywhere else. We bought the full run, the print run, back in 2018. And so we are the only shop that has it. You can do this one. You can do this one and just leave the bottom off. you can do the new one that we're going to do, and you'll have the tutorial out there to do it. So I just wanted to talk to you about that a little bit, because some of you are going to, if you're in the Soiree, you're going to get that. So we're excited about it. And I'm excited to be redoing her. I've had her sitting out looking at her for about 3 months now. I've just been looking at her, thinking, imagining, it's fun. So I mentioned that Allie was here, and Allie Dudley is, she was somebody that came to Stitch Group. First, she came in looking for thread, and of course, she came back to Stitch Group, and then I recruited her to work with us, and then I immediately gave her the website software, and then right after that, I gave her the charting software, and then I gave her the publishing software. And so since, we met her in 2018, she's been doing our charting and publishing, meaning that she takes it and makes it into a booklet and makes it pretty through a different software. And she's done some for other people too. So she is now at, we've talked before, at the Campbell Folk School. And her little career down there has really just blossomed, which is fantastic. So she is over like 3 different little, programs there where she brings the teachers in, and she's over the studios and stuff, and she's just loving it. And I'm really, really happy for her, because she's a weaver, and she's a really good weaver. She's done some beautiful, beautiful things that have been on exhibit all over the world. And so she's really into her groove, which means that she doesn't have as much time to do all these crazy fun things that I keep throwing at her. So she's still there, and she's still doing stuff that we need her to do. But we took some time while she was here, and we transitioned some stuff. And so I'm actually really excited. And I know you guys are shaking your head going, not one more thing. But I have wanted to kind of own some of that for quite some time. And I'm actually pretty computer savvy, although I'm not perfect. And there's some things I don't waste my time with, like Twitter. I just don't. Or newer things than that. There's other things out there too that I just don't. But one of the jobs that I had when I was in my other life, my first career, was I was a global information systems officer. And so I implemented our financial systems all over the world, and did training and stuff for it. So yes, Allie's the person doing the button class. Yay, so we'll get to meet her. So anyway, I'm pretty excited. I'm going to get to take some of that back and own it. And it'll be something that I think will just give me more passion to my life. I'm pretty excited. And she said she'll still do the publishing and stuff for us. She'll do whatever I need her to do, basically. It just takes her longer. But I was real excited to be able to get some of that back. And not because I don't like what she does, because she does fabulous stuff. But I wanted to learn. It's one of those things you want to learn. So I'm glad for her that her life is actually kicking into gear, and she's enjoying it and doing some fun stuff for her. And I'm glad that she's still staying on my team, and that we will be able to lean on her. And I'm also really excited about doing something new and fun and bringing you some stuff. So I wanted to talk to you about that. The other thing that I want to share with you, so blah, blah, blah. We did, when the pandemic hit and we had to cancel all of our classes, one of the classes that we had scheduled was called Mabel Tuke. And lots of you have asked me for Mabel Tuke, and I've had her ready to be published for a while, and I keep dragging my feet. The reason that I haven't published her publicly, so we did the class. I want to say we had like 200 people or more, maybe 300 in that class. There were a lot of people in that class. And it was all online, and it was our first online class, and I had a lot of fun doing it. But the reason that I haven't released her again is because I wanted to redo the tutorials, because I wanted you to have a tutorial. So I'm going to show you the model that I stitched. This is Mabel Tuke on a 40 count. And Mabel Tuke is a really special sampler. I've got the antique down here too. I'm going to show it to you. But you see this bigger flower over here where my fingers are? The flower head on that is all queen stitch. Now this one's a 40 count, so you can't see it that well on the video, but those are all queens. I don't know a way to get it to where you can see it too well, but it's my computer. But those are all queen stitches. And the stem of the flower is also queen stitches. And underneath it, that grass is Bargello. And then when you come up a little bit, this band right here is, I think that one is eyelets. This band is a rice stitch. And then you've got cross stitch. And you have a tiny little bit of cross stitch over one with the name and the year. And so this is a really great sampler to also do a little specialty stitch stuff on. So let me tell you just a little bit about Mabel. Mabel's family, she was not a Quaker. I mean, she was a Quaker. This is not a Quaker sampler. She was a Quaker, and her family were instrumental in starting some Quaker schools. They also were part of getting Ackworth Quaker School up and started. So very important sampler. So that's the model. One of them. I've actually stitched her twice. And this is the antique. And I don't know how much you can get without the glare. I don't have a lot of good light on it, but you can see, I'll turn it up this way. And there's that flower I was just showing you. All in queen stitches and bargello. And then you see the eyelets and the rice stitch. Just a really beautiful little sampler. I found out a ton about Mabel when I was doing research for her. She's connected to the Tuke tea company over there in England. I mean, her dad was, it was either her dad or her brother, I can't remember right now, was a strong abolitionist. I think it was her dad, and was also very involved in setting up hospitals that he had humane treatment for mentally ill people. So just a really rich family history. So I took a look at the tutorial videos that I have out there, because they're still out there. And there's not really that much I still need to do. Hey Beth, yeah, you stitched her, I think. So I'm going to release Mabel Tuke for you. And now, there is a small. So what we did, and it's hard for me to show you this without showing you the little chart. I'm going to show it to you. If somebody's desperate enough to freeze the frame and pull the chart off, then yeah, so be it. So this is what the little small looks like. And we did this small for Mabel so that you could practice all the specialty stitches. And that's what we do a lot. We'll take content from the antique and we'll create a small. That's what we did for Susan's class. We did that for a couple other things too. So this is the small that we did for Mabel Tuke, and a lot of people loved the small. And the tutorial that I did was on the small, right? Because that's all the specialty stitches. But it translates very well to the antique. And so each specialty stitch has a little tutorial video out there. And then I actually did a couple of stitch with me's. And so I did a stitch with me for the small. I don't think I've got it all the way to the end. And I did a stitch with me, although I have finished it twice, I think. I did a stitch with me on the antique too. And so I would love for you guys to, join in and stitch Mabel Tuke. I think it's great. So I've been struggling with how to do it because you've got the little small, I think, and I've got all these little doodle cloths for the smalls. So it was a separate little kit. Like when people paid to take the class, they got the sampler and then they got the full tutorial and the doodle cloth and everything to stitch the small. So I think what I'll do is I'm going to put the sampler out there for purchase by itself. And then I'll put the tutorial out for purchase, which will include this tutorial design along with the doodle cloth to stitch it on. And then you will need to buy your threads for the sampler separately. We'll put it out separately, because if you buy your thread kit to stitch the sampler, you'll have enough to stitch the small. I can't remember if I actually kitted the small separately. I don't think I did. But it's got the DMC conversion. If you just wanted to do the tutorial, you could do it with DMC. You don't have to do it with silk. But if you're gonna stitch the antique, the reproduction, and you buy that silk pack, you should have enough to stitch the small. There might just be one color that you need a little bit more of, and I think it was the dark red. So anyway, I'll put little kits out there. I guess I could make a little kit for, I could kit it out for the small. Um, if you just wanted to stitch the small so that you had everything. So maybe I'll do that. I don't think it takes a lot of thread. Um, so I'll provide, thinking on the go, I'll provide a little thread kit for the small too. So you'll be able to order the tutorial, which will give you access to all the tutorial videos. It'll give you this chart. It'll give you the doodle cloth. Um, I'm still waffling on the threads because that'll change the cost of it, and I want it to be really inexpensive. So let me think about that. I'm gonna put this out for sale tomorrow, so I'll figure that out, and then I'll send a newsletter out and talk to you guys about that. So that's Mabel. So I hope you're happy about Mabel. Oh, you haven't stitched her yet. Yay. You need thread. Oh, there you go. So Kathy, was the over one name hard to do on 40 count? No, I did it with a 103. And so that's the thing. On the 40 count, but I didn't do the queen stitches with 103. So let's look at that again. I thought I would have to, but when I started, so when I did this, I don't know how good a look you can get at the queen stitches. When I did this, I saved those queen stitches for the end. And I had probably done in my lifetime, maybe 2, maybe 3 queen stitches. Because if I'm anything, I'm confident, which is a scary thing. But I figured I could figure it out. And so I got out the 103 because I thought that on 40 count I'd have to do it with 103, and it looked terrible. And I did it in the margin. They're probably still on the back of this thing. And I panicked. I literally panicked. I was sitting in the bedroom, and I had my stitchy chair in there at that time. And I was almost in tears. I was like, this looks horrible, and I had to get it done. And I left it for a little while. And then I came back to it, and I tried it with the Swat Algae. And, I don't know what you think, but I thought it turned out really nice. And so it looks pretty good to me. So if you want to know, first time queen stitches, what they might look like, there you go. Those were really my first time. And I did do it on the model before I did the small, because I needed to get this framed and stuff. So they're not terrible. But I did use 103 to do the name and the date. And so that'll be included with the thread kit if you buy the thread kit. Now, the second one I stitched that I was doing the stitch with me on, I did it on 32 count. Yeah, some of you love queen stitches, Deb. Some of you do. I actually don't mind them now. I figured it out. And there's several different ways to do queens. Yay, yay. I'm glad I remember you stitching it, Melanie. I think you put it up. Thank you, Cheryl. I appreciate that. So Melanie's finished the small and the sampler, so she'll have to talk to us about that. Tell us what you think about it. So the 32 count, I wanted to stitch it again in 32 count just because we offered it in 32, 36, and 40. And I would recommend 36, really, because you can get away with one strand of thread there. It's a little bit less of a struggle with everything. Your first official sampler. I didn't know that, Melanie. Wow, thank you. Thank you for doing that. That's so cool. That's fantastic. So, well, it's one of the few that I finished. Actually, it might be the first one I finished. I think it's the first one I've actually ever finished, Melanie. How bad is that? No, it's not. I had another one that I finished. I finished a couple. It's one of the few that I've actually finished, although I will have a few more before this year is over. So that's cool. Well, I'm glad it was your first. And thank you for doing that. Thank you for sharing that. She's fun. She's fun. And her booklet is really neat. So her booklet is really cool. And I actually found and it's on Fiber Talk somewhere. I read it. It took a while to read it, but I found her obituary, Mabel Tuke's obituary, because the Society of Friends, which is the Quaker group, yeah, if you're gonna swim, you might as well jump in the deep end. That is actually how I learned to swim. I kept jumping off the diving board and doggy paddling to the side. My dad was finally like, I think we're gonna have to put her in swim classes or she's gonna die. So he took me to swim class. Um, but I knew he would grab me out if I was drowning. So I knew I was always safe. Um, but yeah, she was a Quaker until she died, and they keep a book, and every year they will, or they did, I don't know about now, but they made a record when somebody passed what their friends and family had to say. And so basically we found her obituary. um Bye, Sheila. Don't forget to let you know. Okay, I won't. I've got it written down. You want to resume yours. Your aunt threw you in the river. Yeah. That's another way. I fell in the river one time and had to wear my cousin's underwear, who was a boy, and I was not happy about that. So I never fell in the river again. That was miserable. I was not okay with that. I was a kid. I was like 8 or 9. Ugh, that was gross. So, taught me a lesson though, because they told me not to do it and I did it, and that was kind of my punishment. Um, anyway, so I was really searching for stuff on her, and I found her, basically her obituary. I found it after I published the book. So it's not in there, but maybe I will print it and add it to it, or I'll publish it online or something, but I'll make sure you guys get it. It's really, really beautiful, the things that they had to say about her, because her brother said that she was, just the life of the house. It was kind of neat. And, she was pretty old when she died and not able to see and stuff. And so her worship group talked about, how faithful she was and all that stuff. So it was fun. So really neat. So I'm looking forward to getting Mabel back out there to you. Now, just in case you think I'm running out of new samplers, I'm not. I've got so many samplers. So many are charted. So many are charted. That we just need to get them published. But, I keep creating things to do. So they'll get out there. I am trying not to buy as many as I used to, because I feel like, I don't know how you guys feel about it, but I feel like the market has a whole lot of samplers in it right now. Everybody and their brother right now is reproducing samplers, which is fantastic in many ways, because we get to give these little girls and sometimes little boys another little shot at life. At least their needlework gets it. So it's kind of neat to learn about them, and it's always neat and fun and beautiful to stitch them. But I am going to cut back a little bit on what we're buying, and try to get everything out there that we've got, and try to do some fun stuff. So here's where my head is, kind of like with Esther Benson. There's the whole reproduction to a T, which Nicola did with Esther. For us, she charted Esther, and we've done with many other things that we've charted. But there's the whole Blackbird way too, where you take inspiration from an antique and you make it modern. And I love that too. And so some of these antiques that, we've either charted, we may reimagine, like Esther Benson, and give them a whole another version of life that might be more attractive to a modern audience. Some of the ones that we haven't charted, we might do that with. That's not to say that we won't chart the antique as a reproduction, because I think we will. Oh, you taught her to stem stitch. You need to teach me, because I'm not good at that. I am not good at the stem stitch, which sounds crazy. Esther Benson's got a lot in there, so maybe I might be good before that's over with. So Deb said she taught her granddaughter to stem stitch. So, I would be interested in this video to know what your thoughts are around that. So I think that we will continue to do pure reproductions, but I think we'll, in the same booklet, offer you another option, which might be a more modern perspective, because a lot of the samplers that are out there have beautiful embroidery on them, beautiful needlework, and then they've got, 1,000-word essay in them. And so you're like, and the essay is about, how dark it was outside and how horrible life was, and you know what I mean? And I own some that are like that. Morbidity samplers is what we call them. And I get it. That was, they needed to be ready to pass on because their lives were short. in that period of time. And so I respect them, but that might not be something you want hanging on your wall. And so I would like to give people a chance to stitch the beauty of it. And if you want to reproduce it exactly, you can do that. If you want to give it a little shake and do something a little bit different, then we're going to give you that chance too. So that's kind of where our focus is going to move to with our sampler line and reproduction line. So I'm looking forward to that, because there are a few samplers that I love many things about them, but there's some things I don't. And I think that's where Blackbirds always come from. I think they had a vision, and they do have a vision, but I think they were able to see that, you know, there's a lot of beauty there that you can translate into a modern language. Yeah, kind of seeing people personalize them. Yeah, I think it's great, and do some fun stuff with them. One of the most beautiful samplers that we own is a band sampler with tons of queen stitches in it. And Jackie Duplessis has it right now, and she's actually creating something with it. So that one will come out with Jackie, which will be fun. I think you guys will love it. It's one that hung on the wall for a long time. It's really, really beautiful. And then I've got a lot of Dutch samplers that I just love. You know, I don't even need to change the Dutch samplers, because they're just a fantasy world all on their own. Yeah, some of them need to be modernized a little bit. That's what I feel like a little bit, you know, Kathy. So that's kind of where we're headed with that. So here I am yammering on and on and on about things, but I would like to know, you know, so you guys tell me what you think about that. And also, you know, what you think about these tutorials and things too. Um, you know, we finished up our last in-person class for the year. I mentioned last week that we were not going to be doing the October class this year. We are going to do it next year, where it'll be, we'll have our soiree the third week of September like we usually do, which will be all virtual. And then in October, we'll do a hybrid where it's part virtual, part in person. And so we'll have seats for that. I'm going to be putting up this week the class schedule that I have so far for next year and for the year after that, because we're already booking in 2024. So in 2024, we've got Jeanette Douglas coming back. We've got Hands on Design. We've got Summer House Stitch Works. Summer House comes every year. So far, we've been able to lure her back every year. So she'll be back with us in 2023, the first weekend in August. Then we've got Susan next year. Next year, we are bringing in Clara Blaylock, who is the Stitching Parlor. So we're bringing her in May. Yeah, you want me to do the Montenegrin stitch? How about you do that one, Beth? Whew, that's a big ask. Gosh, that's a hard stitch, isn't it? I mean, so I'm in a little stitch group with Beth that I haven't been to in about 4 months, probably, with the Whitework sampler, and I got stuck on them. I think it's a Montenegrin. It's something like that. And I have to really do that completely alone with no noise. So I just like, and I just reordered Amy Minton's book, The Autopsy of the Montenegrin. So if you're doing anything on a band sampler, it probably has the Montenegrin stitch in it. It's not intuitive to me. I've not found it to be intuitive. So maybe we'll do something with the Montenegrin. I'll have to get my courage up for that. Maybe next year. So far, I don't think I own a sampler that has the Montenegrin in it, personally. I'll have to go back and look, but I don't think so. Maybe I do. There might be a couple band samplers, because I've got some band samplers that might have it in there that I'm just blocking from my memory, because the pain of it. Okay, so I want to show you the giveaways for next week. We're switching gears here. So we're doing wool. Now, this is a wool applique Christmas stocking. It's open. I don't know how it got open. I might have opened it to look at it. Or I don't know if somebody gave it to me or what happened with that. But it has everything in it. So it's got all the wool pieces. And it's got it's even got beads and stuff. So this one is going to be bunny, because it has the bunny rabbit on it. I'm going to make it hard. So it's bunny. Okay, so if you want to win this for next week, give me a comment with the word bunny in it. I'm going to have to make a note of this. Okay. All right. Okay, this next one, I'm pretty sure I bought this with good intentions. It's just not going to happen. And so this is another one that's got all these really cool wool applique. And it has everything in it. So it's got beautiful thread. And it's got little things down there at the bottom that, I guess it's for this little believe thing. So if you want to win this one, give me the word cheer. Okay, since that's right in the middle. So that one will be cheer. Okay. All right. This one, I know I bought. It's called Crazy Pigs. So, it's a wall hanging kit. And it does have all of its stuff in it. Brand new. So, you guys will have to start doing floss tubes so you can de-stash. So, that one is going to be, I want the whole word Crazy Pig. I want 2 words on that. So, Crazy Pigs is going to be Crazy Pig. You can use 1 pig or 2 pigs, but it has to be Crazy Pig. Good night, Patty. I'm glad you were here. Yeah, you can just comment here. You can comment here on the feed, Judy, and I do a search on the feed. Okay, and so I know I bought this too, and I'm not going to get it, but this one's pretty cool. This is a little purse. And so the whole purse is already made. Like, you could just carry the purse if you wanted to. But then it's got the stuff to applique and put this flower on it, and it's got it inside. I can feel it in there. But it's pretty neat, and it's got a long handle. It looks short here, but it's a long handle purse. And so for this, the word leaf. Okay, so the purse, use the word leaf. For the Crazy Pigs kit, Crazy Pig or Crazy Pigs, those words. For this cute little wool kit, let's use the word cheer. And then for this really cool Santa kit, we'll use the word bunny, because he's got his bunny with him. And I did check, everything is in there, so that'll be fun. Okay, so from me, if you're signed up for the Soiree, you'll probably get your kit this week. They should get mailed on Tuesday. If you won something in the last week, you'll get that mailed out to you, or the week before, because I haven't mailed those yet. So those will all get mailed out Tuesday. You will see me post options for Mabel Tuke online. And I will also start working on getting the Cosmo thing back up and running. And, just lots of good stuff. Be thinking about Esther Benson. So a leaf fell on a bunny and we all cheered except for the Crazy Pigs. Melody, that's awesome. You were just right there on that. When pigs fly, Crazy Pigs come out to play. That's good. Melody, that was fabulous. See, you're like me. You can just make it up on the spot. It's a talent. The bunny was full of good cheer. Oh, that's another one, Cheryl. See, it's going to be hard for me to go. You will cheer on everything you need to do. Oh, thank you, Barbara. I appreciate that. Thank you. Am I going to sleep too? Yeah, I will. But now I'm all awake. I was so sleepy up there earlier. Now I'm like completely wide awake. The Crazy Pigs have leaves. Yeah. That's great. So, yes, I will take some pictures and post pictures. I'll take pictures of salty yarn and post them for you. That'll be fun. And then I'll be back next Sunday night, and I will share what I did with you. And anyway, it'll be fun. So, I appreciate you guys joining me again. If you're not subscribed, that's the best way to get notification. I will go ahead and put the link out there like I did this week for next Sunday, so you can just click on it. But if you subscribe on YouTube, then you'll get a little notification when I go live. Oh, and I posted tutorials this week. I don't know if you saw it, but I posted the little tutorial for the stag ornament that I made, and also for how to sign up for the Soiree, but that's over now. So thank you, Till. I hope you have good healing. And thank you, Judy. All right, everybody have a fantastic week, and I will see you next week. Thank you for joining me. Bye.